Hey folks, welcome back to the Horde. Today is Tuesday, January 8th. It's about noon. I'm outside the Horde at this moment. So, looking at my garage, you can see why the lower garage here is not a great place to work. The sun does not completely come around and melt off the snow. I mean, you look at the basic driveway, you can see wet spots. That's because things are melting. As you look here, you can see the snow stays. It really takes forever to melt until it goes up to like 50, 55 degrees. This here will not melt off. What is the purpose of this video other than complaining about I sit here and it feels like I'm in Siberia when I'm working on my stuff? Other than that complaint, what am I up to? Well, let me show you from a distance. This is my Cushman. I'm not exactly sure of the year, but it's an old timer. It's had some alterations made to it. I think at some point it actually had the shifter alongside the steering wheel here, and they moved it over to here. I think somebody put a lot of time and effort into it. I've had carburetor problems with this thing ever since I got it. This was an eBay deal. You can see the gas tank really is over there, but I put this gas tank here, welded it all up, set it up, put in a fuel filter. You can kind of see the fuel filter down there. It's got an electric fuel pump that could run off that gas tank back there, but I have it disconnected because I think that gas tank is full of crap. It's supposed to be full of gas, but it seemed to be messing me up. Anyway, I've worked on this carburetor a few times, and normally I'm pretty good at rebuilding carburetors. There's the carburetor right there. But I have to be honest, I've had nothing but trouble with this carburetor. It's got writing on it, and you can see how shiny it is. It's got a lot of writing on it and dates, so every flat spot seems to have writing and a date, which to me means that it's been rebuilt more than once, and I haven't been able to get it to behave, and they can't seem to get it to behave. And as near as I could tell, what's wrong with it is the fuel pump is no good. Just looking at the engine, it looks like an old airplane engine. I don't know how well you guys could see this. It's two opposed cylinders, so it's a boxer, air cooled. I have a spare one of these. It's got an oil filter over there. The problem I have with this engine, once again, it's nice to talk about it, but let's diagnose it. The problem I have is when you step on the gas, it seems starved for fuel. When it warms up, it runs better, but no matter what, it seems starved for fuel. You could see I kind of put a strange air filter. It's kind of an old sock. That puts a little extra drag on the on the carburetor as you step on the gas, and the extra drag seems to help it pull some more fuel through the carburetor, which makes it run a little better. But the problem, once again, is always that it doesn't work. I took it apart recently, and it seems to me that the fuel pump part of the carburetor is no good. The fuel pump part of the carburetor does not function. So, what am I going to do? There's no use having this rig sitting here. I mean, this is a prime location. If I got this out of here, I got this great place to work, and I even have some space so that I can set up a heater, right? I mean, what's the use of having it if it's not going to run properly? Other than filling it up with crap. Anyhow. So what I'm thinking of doing is, if you look at the flange right here, if you look at that flange right here I'm talking about, it looks like I can bolt up an all-terrain vehicle carburetor, and then obviously I'm going to have to fool with the linkage there to hook it up to the gas pedal. But what I'd like to do is put an all-terrain vehicle carburetor on it, and obviously the governor will be gone at that point, so I'm going to have to pay a little more attention. I can't just run it up and blow the engine up. But I'd like to see if I can do that and get it to work. And I think this battery is now toast from sitting. Anyway, that's my thoughts. I'd like some advice from anybody out there who could advise me. Can I do that? Can I just, I mean, it's a 2-cylinder. I don't know how many horsepower it is. If I had to guess, probably around 15. Strikes me as if a single-cylinder Honda motor, like 350 cc's, 300 cc's, should be about the same horsepower, give or take a little bit. The other thing about a 2-cylinder, you're not pulling on the carburetor it's at the same time. So theoretically, let's say it's 18 horsepower. So a 9 horsepower carburetor should almost be enough, right? Because you're only running. With a 2-cylinder, you're only pulling on the carburetor 1 cylinder at a time. So you would only be pulling on that carburetor on the intake stroke. So cylinder 1 would have an intake stroke while cylinder 2 is doing exhaust, and then vice versa, right? Cylinder 2 would be getting an intake stroke, and cylinder 1 would be doing the exhaust. So I think maybe I should only be thinking about putting a carburetor of like 9 horsepower. Well, 9 horsepower carburetor would be like a carburetor off a 200 cc bike. But the thing is, a 200 cc bike, those carburetors do not have fuel pumps. The carburetors on 300 cc bikes have fuel pumps. So, or 350 cc's have fuel pumps. So my musings. I guess basically what I'm asking for anybody out there on YouTube that could possibly help me. I mean, there must be some mechanics and some people who do, try to get old engines put back together again. There must be a few of you guys out there who occasionally catch my channel, or perhaps somebody who's interested in old Cushmans. The engine on that guy is the same as the engine on the police vehicle here, and I do have a spare engine. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show it to you. I'm walking through the mud here. Yeah, the spare engine I have. This is my new camera, the one I had to buy because I dropped the last one in the mud, in the water. Yeah, I don't know. Can you see that? Yeah, there's a spare engine over there. So, anyway, folks, this is getting to be a long video. I'm going to take Wally's advice. So I gotta let you guys go before it takes forever to upload this. Remember, keep your handlebars out of the snow and off the pavement. Live, love, have a great time. We'll catch you on the next one. For anybody out there who regularly Frankenstein stuff and swaps carburetors from one bike to the next and so forth, if I could get some advice about putting a motorcycle type carburetor, an all-terrain vehicle type carburetor on this Cushman, I would appreciate that advice, because I really, given that that's sitting in a prime location, I would like it to run. Thanks, folks. Y'all take care, and we'll catch you on the next episode.